students. The JA Bowl-a-thon is February 16th and 17th at Parkway Lanes and Hollywood Bowl. Register at lincoln.ja.org.
Husker fans, this is Matt Davison with the 1890 Initiative. You've probably heard about NIL, name, image, and likeness, and now you can have an immediate impact on the success of our programs. The 1890 Initiative is Nebraska's premier NIL company, and with your help, we can maximize our student athletes' opportunities with NIL and prepare them for life after college. Nebraska has always been a leader in college athletics. Let's do the same with NIL. To learn more, visit 1890nebraska.com, where 100% of your donation goes directly to Husker student athletes. That's 1890nebraska.com.
This is On the Block with Strick and Austin. Nebraska Basketball Hall of Famer and 9-year NBA vet, Erick Strickland.
Strickland for three! And you're going to go out of here as the Big 8 tournament champion.
Middle school basketball coaching legend and Duke basketball shooting coach in his mind, Austin Orman. Coming at you live from the heart of Lincoln, America. On air and online at theticketfm.com. Brought to you by Mary Ellen's Food for the Soul. This is On the Block with Strick and Austin.
Welcome right back to it. We're just going to jump straight back into the conversation. Nebraska men's basketball against Illinois. Austin Norman, Erick Strickland with you for On the Block, brought to you by Mary Ellen's Food for the Soul. We're back open on Wednesday. A 3-point loss for the Huskers, Strick. And I want to start with a couple key plays that stood out to me. The first one, I think we have to go way back into the first half. Nebraska's up 6 or 7 points on Illinois. I think it was right before the U8 media timeout. Keisei Tominaga is hot. He's hit a couple threes. I think he had 15 points on 4 or 5 shooting early. And in transition, Strick, he pulls up from beyond the coach's box line.
Keisei.
We've talked about shots like that before.
Especially on the road.
Yeah. Where it's Keisei Tominaga. Could he hit it? Yes. But I'm not going to put the whole game on that shot. But that strikes me as a shot that Nebraska could have gotten any time and has to know that pushing the lead to 9 or 10 points in the first half against the top 15 team in their home gym isn't worth that attempt. You can get a better shot. You can manage the clock better. I get it's Keisei, but Illinois responded with like a 4-5 run to get back into the game. I was not a fan of that shot.
I wasn't either. It's unnecessary. And that goes back to what I've said before. There's a way you can play at home, and then there's a way that you play on the road, especially when you have a lead. The way that you push leads is, and I say this sometimes, and some may not, you take them to Pound Town. You go inside, you attack the rim, you draw fouls, you go to the free throw line, you make free throws, you push leads. You force them to play you defensively. You don't give them easy outs. Like if you take fully contested shots, bad shots, stuff like that. Like for example, Alec had at least 3 or 4 shots to where he just flips the ball up there. Like, shoot the ball. The one time he shoots it, he makes it. It's a quick flipper. I'm like, bro, just go straight up, flip the ball, shoot the ball, and make your jump hook. That he leaves them short, or stuff like that. Those are crucial to me, because you got great shot in the paint, the type of shot you want that specific person taking, and you do some old throw flip, and it's the same thing with Keisei, right? You go in there and you set them up. Guess what? There's nothing wrong with you coming down in that situation. You're hot. Hit them with a slow step in hezzy. Check it. If they don't fly, get into something. Or come down, get to your spot. If they don't pick you up, shot fake, let them fly to you. If it's not at you, then pass the ball. I mean, there's things like that. There are setups that I'm cool with, but don't come down and just let that fly, because then, like you said, it's a demoralizing thing. No one gets touches. Now you're back on defense you just came off of, and it's just a compounding problem.
take that one dribble and see what happens.
Yeah.
If he's one dribble closer, it's okay. That's normal deep Casey range, but out of rhythm, essentially a set shot in transition. I wasn't a fan of that. Juwan Gary, after the Alex Steele at the end of regulation, Strick, if that layup goes down and it's an and one instead of having to hit 2 free throws, I'm not so sure Nebraska doesn't win that game in regulation.
I think so too. And here's something I want to say about that, because guys like Bryce, even Casey, who had an and one opportunity, you go in there and they just start flipping the ball up. Now, Juwan's was a little bit different. His was aggressive. It just he changed to his left hand and just missed it. Okay, that's understandable. But go in, take the contact. You see Bryce going in sometimes with that soft, straight up, not explosive. Bro, these are athletic guys in a college basketball.
Especially
that stuff ain't
Illinois.
gonna fly. They get that stuff tossed back. Go in, take the contact, and freaking finish. Like it's like they're going in looking for the contact and not thinking about the finish. Go think about the finish, take the contact, and go strong to the finish. They should be way more and ones that Nebraska should have had in that game.
The other shot that stands out to me is Rinkmast's hook shot over Terrence Shannon Jr. Illinois was up 1 at the time. Nebraska got the matchup it wanted. You're going over your left shoulder for Rinkmast. He gets it 1 dribble into the move, left the hook shot short. Instead, Illinois goes down and scores. It's a 3-point game. And Strick, the difference between being up 1 with 2 minutes to go and down 3 with 2 minutes to go, that changes everything about your strategy.
Yeah, I mean, it does. It forces you to have to do something different. But again, you're right there. I think maybe one of the times you had a 1-point lead, you don't secure a rebound, and they end up scoring off of it. So now you're back down 1 when you probably had an opportunity to push the lead to 3. So it was a few things in there, but all the negative things that I may be sharing or talking about right now, that's still a good team. They came in, they looked way different than any other time that I've seen on the road. They're a little more focused. Yes. One of the issues that, I'll talk about is the differentials. I'm never going, you can track, you guys sometimes may think I just be talking. Like some of you guys really do. Some of you listeners probably, and even my partners sometimes think I just be talking. But when I'm talking, I'm saying something, because they lost the differentials, and then it's the difference of how they lost the game. If they win the differentials, they win this game. There's no question in my mind. When you're out rebounded 50-33, but you shoot better than them, that's a problem. You win the differentials, you play great defense, but you don't secure the rebounds on the road. Again, as Tom Wald had put out a tweet, he says one of the tough things about playing in the Big Ten, if you go look on X for Tom Wald, one of the things he says is one of the problems sometimes is playing in the Big Ten is not only are you playing against the home team, but you're also playing against the refs. That can go back to even our time. This is why you have to do more in the litter areas. And an example of that would be 50-50 balls. They won a lot of them. That's what kept them in the game. A big one was Sam Hoiberg's diving in, snatching it, and securing a possession. That's the type of stuff you need on the road, because you are possibly, as it gets late, there are going to be some probably differentials in calls, and you can see the margin and the difference of how some of those calls went, especially in the second half.
Especially in the second half. And that's something Nick and I talked about. Was I thought it was a great coaching move by Underwood to get that technical in the first half, to get the game called more in Illinois' favor, the way that Illinois would want a game to be played. I credit Brad Underwood for that. And now, if you're the refs, I know you've talked about this before, you can't give into that, but clearly they did. They were swayed by that. It changed how the game was officiated.
Especially when you're 14-14.
At the line. Yeah.
Just even if you're even in the game. You're 14-14. They shoot 60%. That's a win. I'm sorry. Go ahead.
No, you're good. The rebounding was fine in the first half, but you give up 2 offensive rebounds on 1 possession. Domas gets the layup miss for his own, puts it back in, and then the next possession, a long 3, you don't secure. The keep extending Illinois' lead. Strick, I thought this game was over when Illinois got up 10 with 3.5 minutes to go. I'm like, okay, well, Nebraska fought for 36 minutes. It was valiant effort. It's better than it's looked, but it's not going to be enough. That's what makes it sting even more, is that Nebraska found a way to go on that 11-1 run, to claw its way back into the game, to have that resolved despite the refs, despite an inconsistent offense, I think, throughout most of the game. And yet it still comes down to, at the end, I think a bad foul call in overtime when Hoiberg looked to have forced a jump ball.
That was horrible.
2 hands on the ball. The only
on the
contact
ball.
was the guy swinging his arm. I didn't get that one.
I couldn't believe that dude called that. And again, see, here's the thing that they've always taught us. And then our next segment, I want to get into these differentials because I need you to hear it so you can understand what I'm saying when I say when they lose a certain amount of differentials, this team loses. When they win them, they win. Okay. But one of the things you're taught in refereeing is that if you don't see it, don't guess. It's a no call. Get better positioning so that you can see. In that situation, defer. If you don't see it, defer to the balance. What would be the balance?
Jump. Tied up.
Hell ball. Right? If you see it or don't see it and want to give yourself just a second, you got to create angles. That was lazy. He stayed lazy behind the ball the whole time. When in refereeing, as the trail referee, you want to be beside the ball. So the fact that you didn't create better angle to see through, that's on you. So you got to defer. You don't, but guess what? Illinois is at home. Probably if Nebraska's at home, he gives it to Nebraska. So that's one of those things that I can't stand about refereeing. It's one of those things I've talked about before. Did I tell you about the situation where I had to make a big sack call?
Yeah. The foot on the line three.
The foot on the line three?
Yeah.
That takes sack. But a lot of guys.
Like Nick Bosa, TJ Watt style.
A lot of guys don't have sack, especially on the road. Because you don't want to.
Or for the road team.
For the road team. A lot of guys don't want that smoke. You know what I mean? Or they don't want their supervisor being called, or they don't want an evaluation of the game because they might have missed something in the game. This is why you stay on point through the game. So that way, when they make the call, you can say, okay, well, give me the clips. Let me see them. And then I can validate every call that I made because I saw it. And if I didn't see it, I didn't call it.
Right.
If I missed it, then I can tell you I missed it because I was in bad position. I can justify every situation in a game if I'm doing the right thing. But when you're not, or you're lazy and you're not active, or you're not tuned in, or you're a homer, or you know what I'm saying? Because you want them to call you back. Because this is a top 25 team. You don't want them to X you out because that's playoff stuff, or that's Big Ten championship potentials, and you want to position yourself and be cool to get in that game. You don't want the coach saying, I don't want him in my game. So, okay, don't want me because you don't want. Because I can tell my commissioner, I can say, hey, yeah, he don't want me in that game because he knows I'm gonna call it straight.
Right,
and I can say that. So that's the issue I had.
Hisselbear on the text line says it stinks that there's no accountabilities with the refs making bad calls. I think Nebraska has a legitimate gripe on sending 5 or 6 calls into the Big Ten League office for review.
Oh, yeah.
The 6 pivot step one, the jump ball call, a couple missed travels.
You saw that? Did he not do the 2-step?
Yeah.
He did the achy, breaky heart. And I've said, what are you guys watching? I'm sitting there watching the 3rd or 4th one, and I'm like, you guys still ain't seen it?
He moved 4 feet without dribbling.
I was like, wow. I was blown. That's why I couldn't call in last night. I was just saying, I'm going to leave this one alone until tomorrow. I'm going to wait this out. I'm going to sleep on this one.
Yeah. The last thing I'll mention before we get to your differentials in the next segment, I want to give a big tip of the cap to that pressing lineup Nebraska threw out there at the end of the game. Demarcus Lawrence didn't play a lot, didn't play that well, was in there at the end of the game. Hoiberg came in, did a good job. Cale Jacobson played admirably there when they were pressing. Jeffrey Grace getting some of those traps. And Stricky, that last trap that the ball squirted free.
Oh, God.
That's just a bad bounce. That's not a lack of hustle. That's not wanting it. That's just, it just happened to bounce Illinois' way. Huge tip of the cap to those guys for that.
I have to agree. They came in and they were ready for the moment. And that's good. What I would say is if I'm Jeffrey Grace and that ball hits the floor, I'm circling. I'm not diving. You know what I'm saying? Like,
right.
I'm
not diving
because he
step.
dove, right? So it doesn't make sense.
Jamarcus is on the floor.
It doesn't make sense for two of us. If he doesn't dive, he gets that ball. You see what I'm saying? Like, I understand it's a hustle. Sometimes hustle it wasn't a false hustle. It was a real hustle play. Sometimes it's false hustle, but it's unnecessary dives or necessary plays or unnecessary reaches cause that matador stuff that causes a problem on the defense, so forth. So if he doesn't dive, he gets that ball.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
And Nebraska has a chance to tie or take the lead.
Man, it was a couple of situations where balls were kind of like that. But yeah, it just happens.
Text line, comment section. We want your thoughts. Are you more disappointed in last night because a win would have been huge? Or are you encouraged by last night that the team showed some fight on the road? Let us know at 402-464-5685 or on the stream, Facebook, YouTube, Twitch, and Twitter. We'll get to those comments. We'll go over Stricky's differentials. How did Nebraska end up 3 points short at Illinois? We'll be back with that in just a minute.
Think you need a new furnace due to a cracked heat exchanger? Call Bryant for a free second opinion. Might save you thousands, no matter what brand. Bryant Air Conditioning and Heating. We do whatever it takes.
At Southeast Community College, community is our middle name. Our continuing education classes offer personal interest, traffic safety and licensing, online learning, and adult education classes across Southeast Nebraska or online in your own home. Learn to ride a motorcycle, how to start a small business, how to dance, or take a course to advance in your current career path. See the full schedule of continuing education classes online at southeast.edu/continuing. SCC, your path to possible.
Golfing in 72 degrees and perfect conditions in Nebraska doesn't seem possible in the winter, but it is. Double Eagle Golf is your escape from the bone-chilling cold outside and a reason to keep your clubs out year-round. Book a bay with some friends for a weekend or come by for golf and happy hour on a weekday. Spring leagues begin in February. Get signed up today. That's all at Double Eagle Golf inside the Kinetic Sports Complex at West O Street. Online at doubleeagle.golf.
Rashawn Jackson here for Bauer Underground, who has been serving local contractors and utility contractors all across the state since 1997. When you see the black and white trucks, you know the baddest dudes in the business have arrived. Bauer is currently looking for equipment operators, laborers, diesel mechanics, and aerial linemen. Join the brotherhood built on hard work, authentic people, and pedigree of success. Bauer, a family-friendly company who reminds you, go Big Red!
Landmark Implement is your local authorized John Deere dealer. Landmark's trained and certified sales staff will help you find the right equipment for your needs at a price that's right for you, all backed by Landmark's extensive parts and service network. Whether it's a tractor, planter, combine, an easy track lawnmower, or gator, every piece of equipment in pre-owned inventory is put through a rigorous inspection so it's ready to work hard for you. Landmark's team works together to make sure everything is sold meets their quality standards. Learn more at landmarkimp.com or stop into a local Landmark location and experience the Landmark difference.
Discover the difference that expertise and experience can make in your real estate journey with Next Ag Appraisal and Realty. Whether you need an appraisal, sales, or farm management, Next Ag comes up with a solution with your legacy and goals in mind. Next Ag isn't just their name, it's your future. So why wait? Visit their website today at www.nextagrealestate.com or give them a call at 402-380-0432 and turn your dreams into reality. Your land, your legacy, their solutions. Next Ag Appraisal and Realty.
Fairway Meat Market has everything you need for meat and cold drinks for the big game this Sunday. Now through February 11th, enjoy fresh chicken wings for $2.99 per pound, USDA choice brisket for $4.99 per pound, all natural St. Louis pork ribs for $1.99 per pound, USDA whole prime beef tenderloin for $19.99 per pound, 10-pound tubes of 80% lean ground beef for $2.99 per pound, and 30 packs of Busch Light for just $17.99. Fairway Meat Market, just south of 84th and Van Dorn. Bagels and Joe is the best place to start off your mornings, and you can order your breakfast ahead of time on their app. February's cream cheese flavor is white chocolate raspberry. Pair it with a very berry chai. Stop by any of their 4 locations in Lincoln and their location in Seward. Bagels and Joe. Attention all Wings fans. 89-cent wings are back on Tuesdays at Buffalo Wings and Rings in Lincoln. Enjoy the best wings in town for boneless or traditional at a price that makes the whole family happy. And now at the Williamsburg Village Wings and Rings, you can enjoy $1.50 tall boys in Bud Light, Coors Light, Busch Light, and Michelob Ultra every day after 7 p.m. and all day on Sundays. Get to Wings and Rings today and make sure to stop by on Tuesdays for 89-cent wings.
Now back to On the Block with Strick and Austin on 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com.
We're back on the block. Austin Norman and Erick Strickland with you. Still breaking down Nebraska's 87-84 loss at Illinois. Strick, you talk all the time about differentials. Two of them that stand out to me is Nebraska, for the most part, took care of the ball. Only 9 turnovers in 45 minutes a game. That's okay. They forced 14 from Illinois, but you give it all back with 12 second half and overtime offensive rebounds.
Yeah. So the key differentials that you lose in that game is free throw shooting margin. That's not really ultimately all your fault because I like even on CJ Wilcher's situation, that was a foul. You know, I'm not biased. That was a foul.
On
you
the
got
last
too
play
close.
of regulation.
Yeah, CJ, you don't body ride somebody, especially he's right-handed. There's nothing you're going to be able to do if he pulls up. So just stay back enough. If he dives in, you back out. I mean, there's just IQ stuff.
Is that similar to the Jeffrey Grace dive?
Yes.
Trying too hard to make a play?
Yeah, and it's not a play really you can make. Right? So that's a differential for me. The other one that sticks out, okay, they won the differential, not too bad in the assists. You would have hoped on the road you win that situation. Here it is. Here goes the equals. Steals pretty equal. Blocks really don't matter. You win the turnover differential.
Defensive rebounding wasn't terrible. You only got beat by 5 on the defensive glass.
But that's because you shot better than them. If a team shoots bad, you need to out-rebound them, period. Because if you don't, that means they're getting second possession.
Well, you made the same number of field goals, but you hit more threes.
Right.
I'm going to throw this out here, too. Illinois is not a good shooting team, 34% on the year coming in. Even though the scouting report stuff with Hawkins and Domask wasn't good, forcing Illinois to take 34 threes, I think was the right game plan.
Yeah, it definitely was. And you know, your points in the paint, you get murked. That's not a team that's overly dominating in size.
No.
This is not Wisconsin. It's not Purdue. It's not, the likes of them where you can understand. But they murk you in the paint. That's not good. So you lose 3 of those differentials. You lose fouls by 10. Rebounds get murked. Points in the paint, you get killed and destroyed. That's 3 in your negative to so you lose in differentials and therefore you come up short.
By 3 points.
By 3 points.
And that's the question I have for you as well, Strick. I asked the question to the text line. Are you more disappointed because this would have been a great resume booster? Are you still disappointed in the loss because you still haven't won on the road in conference play? Or do you see it as a turning point that, hey, maybe Nebraska figured out how to go play better on the road?
So remember, you weren't here, but I was talking with Nick last week because one of the things that we brought up was what's unique about this time in this stretch, playing Wisconsin, playing Illinois, in such a quick turn, similar to what happened before when they had the letdown, when they had that same type of turnaround and they go on the road and get blasted, I think, at Rutgers.
Yeah.
Right?
But Rutgers, they had the lead and just couldn't finish.
Didn't finish it, right? Okay. What was different is you're going on the road, and what Nebraska, when you're trying to become a good team, you change your culture. You have a new staff. Nick talked about this really feels like it's year 2 in their coaching. You now become a good team. You're 16-16 last year. You were better than expected. You overexceeded this year already. You're a good team. You've taken care of home. That's what the shift of culture does. It begins to take care of. It's tough to do both in one season of turnaround, right? This is why you have consistency on how good Purdue is on the road, because they've been here before.
Right.
They've built that in the Zach Edey era, right? Over time, they've built that. But it's different than playing down the competition, Austin, than to going in and playing a top. Anybody and their mama can get up for a top 25 team.
Mm-hmm.
It's being able to get up when it's a bottom of the barrel type of team. You've got to muster that up internally yourselves, collectively as a team.
Mm-hmm.
That's what they haven't done. That's what they did here. Now the test is, how are they going to do it towards the end?
Mm-hmm.
That's going to be the test. This wasn't a test for me. This was good. It was fought. You had a chance. You gave yourself an opportunity. That's all you can ask for when you go on the road. You just give yourself a chance that in the last 2 minutes, you're in there to possibly win this game. And then anything can happen, right?
Mm-hmm.
Sometimes it just happens to be the referees that happen. You know what I mean? Sometimes they just happen to hit a bank shot from 3. I mean, just anything can happen, but you're there. Okay, you can live with that. But it's what's going to happen in this next phase. You got to go back again. Can you duplicate the effort, the hustle, the grind? Going into Northwestern, I'm not even worried about that one. It's the aftermath of that. When you start dealing with the bottom half of the conference, what are you going to do? I know you're going to take care of home. I know you're going to play hard at home. But what you're going to do on the road against those teams?
I'm going to say I agree full stop with you. But I think it comes back to something you've talked about multiple times here on the show throughout the years, the focus, right?
Mm-hmm.
It's easy to focus against a top 10 team. Northwestern should have this team's attention given how that game in Lincoln went. You can't overlook Northwestern, right? You don't have an excuse. You've played them before. You know how they're going to play. You know what they're going to bring. I get that you have Juwan Gary back for this matchup, unlike the first time. But Northwestern should have your attention. I'm still a little worried about that one just because there's not a number by Illinois' name. I still don't know if I fully trust this team to come with that focus. But then all you have is landmines, sinkholes that you don't see, right? Because you're looking past them. Oh, when do we get back home? Oh, we're looking too much big picture. There is not a good opportunity left on the schedule after Northwestern. All there are on the schedule are bring your own juice games, whether you're at home or on the road. And this is where Nebraska is in good position, right? Nebraska could very easily...
In the middle of the pack.
Yeah.
That's a good place to be right now.
Could have been in better position.
Yeah.
My fear for this team over...
What does that look like, though, before you get to the fear?
It looks like you beat Minnesota the first time.
No. No, I'm saying what contrast, compare and contrast does that look like what we've talked about?
Where you've been down...
No, I'm talking about it looks like the football situation.
Oh, sure.
Right?
Yes.
Like you could have turned that
Yep.
whole situation into a dynamic season. You were right there. Like everything was in front. It was really in your own hands. It was in. This is the same way it looks right now. Go ahead.
Yep. And to that point, we saw how football ended.
Yeah.
You let Michigan State slip away. You let Maryland slip through your fingers at home. You go to Wisconsin, have that team on the ropes and can't finish. And then it all comes down to Iowa, rivalry game with them upset.
To still go to a bowl game.
To still go to bowl game. And you end up a field goal short again.
Yeah.
And again, you were in front. You controlled most of the game. It's unfortunate, but my fear then is that the group tightens up because it's a lot easier to play from in front, but Nebraska's not so far in front that they have nothing to worry about. These are games with stakes. It's a lot easier, I'm sure you can speak to this, to play to win rather than to play not to lose. I'm worried that this Nebraska team sees a lot of opportunities where it will say, we can't lose this one, not how do we win this one?
That's a very good point. And that's why I always talk about putting it in the bank. If you bank the win, let's just think of how, like you said, you was about to say it. You was about to talk about it. Think about how things would have looked if you go and bank Minnesota Rutgers that you had now. This ain't like...
You're up double digits in both games.
Come on, man. Like, you should never come out and lay an egg coming out of halftime and literally just give up the lead that quick. That just should not happen.
No.
That means you didn't come out with any energy.
No.
So just think of what it would look like if you just add 2 more wins to it. Like, even if you lose at Iowa, but if you add just 2 more wins, what does it look like?
You're 18-5. And you're sitting in position for a double bye with 8 games to go.
There you go.
Something you have never done in the Big Ten.
Yeah.
It's still on the table, but it's that much harder.
But now you've got to, dang, we got to go get it. Dang, we got to go get it. Now, here's the difference. I was not on a team that the culture shift was happening. I was on a team where the culture had been established. So when we knew we needed the run we needed, we knew we could go into a gym, and if we played a certain way, we could win it. We could possibly win it. We end up running off like 6 out of 7. Should have been 7 out of 7 if they didn't cheat us in Missouri. But there's the road situation. We got to maybe go beat them by 8 instead of trying to be in a 1-2 point possession game. This team isn't there yet.
Yeah.
And that's the thing you've got to give grace to them on, because it's a difference in having an established and understanding what I need to do and being able to go out and do it. Then how do I go out and do it with some people that I haven't done it with before?
And that's why I think it's so important, the number of guys that can come back for next year yet.
Yeah. Yes.
The bulk of this core could return.
Yes.
And again, I don't want to look too far forward. It's Northwestern on Wednesday always, but there could be a lot going on. Let's throw it to break. We will wrap it up with your thoughts on the text line. Again, are you disappointed by the result last night, or did it give you confidence seeing Nebraska play so close with Illinois? We'll wrap up the hour with that, then turn our attention to Super Bowl week. Chiefs and 49ers, Mahomes' legacy. Does Eric Bieniemy have a return to Kansas City in store now that Dan Quinn is not retaining him? And a Husker football recruiting update with Brian Munson. All that in hour 2. We wrap it up on the text line next.
Go Hog Wild Pit Barbecue. It's $5.99 barbecue time. Hurry to Hog Wild for a complete barbecue meal that's only $5.99. Get a one-meat sandwich loaded with our award-winning barbecue, plus your choice of a classic side and drink for just $5.99. Upgrade your sandwich to beef brisket for just $1 more. Join us for lunch or dinner in Lincoln at 3210 Cornhusker Highway. Order online at GoHogWild.com.
But don't be late, we close at 8. Liberty Law Group is committed to the defense of liberty for those accused and the pursuit of justice for those injured. Liberty Law Group's relentless trial attorneys specialize in criminal defense and personal injury law. We believe in treating every client with respect, compassion, and understanding. We know that navigating the legal system is stressful and overwhelming, but Liberty Law Group will carry that burden for you. When you're facing legal issues, make the right call. 877-42-LIBERTY. That's 877-42-LIBERTY.
Go Hog Wild Pit Barbecue. It's not just the big game everyone looks forward to, it's the food. If you're hosting a super party, let Hog Wild Pit Barbecue do the cooking so you can cheer on your favorite team. Slow smoked ribs, beef brisket, pulled pork, hot links, and so much more. Order online at GoHogWild.com. Hog Wild Pit Barbecue, 3210 Cornhusker Highway in Lincoln.
But don't be late, we close at 8.
Are you in the market for a new garage door or need to repair your old one? It's wintertime, and that means snow, wind, and freezing temperatures, all things that can cause sticky locks and damage to your garage door. If you're experiencing any issues with your commercial or residential garage door during the winter months, call Cameron Hall and his team at Doors Plus. Don't be trapped outside in the cold because of a poorly maintained garage door. Call Doors Plus today at 402-590-5800 or visit them online at DoorsPlusLLC.com. Doors Plus, garage doors and more.
93.7 The Ticket, Fox, KFXL weather. Sponsored by John Henry's Plumbing, Heating, and Air Conditioning.
Your Lincoln forecast for today: patchy fog possible this morning, then mainly sunny this afternoon. See a high near 51. Tonight, partly cloudy, then patchy fog developing late with a low near 32. And tomorrow, more fog in the morning, then mainly sunny in the afternoon. We'll see a high near 57. I'm meteorologist Kyle Cutler from 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com.
Sandhills Global is hiring. With their fast-paced, growing culture, they have hundreds of new openings in sales, marketing, traveling support, software development, web design, and more. Full-time roles offer a 4.5-day work week, along with flexible internships in most areas. Career and internship opportunities are available at our global headquarters in Lincoln, Nebraska. Find your fit today at www.sandhills.jobs.
Wall-to-Wall Wine and Spirits is now open in Lincoln. Shop our expansive collection of wine, beer, spirits, and cigars at 5040 North 27th Street. From top shelf liquor to crowd favorite beer, Wall to Wall Wine and Spirits has a beverage for every taste and every budget. Plus, join our loyalty program to earn rewards and save on future purchases. Shop Wall to Wall Wine and Spirits at 5040 North 27th Street in Lincoln. That's 5040 North 27th Street.
Junior Achievement at Lincoln inspires and prepares today's young dreamers to be tomorrow's goal breakers, leaders, and things we haven't even imagined yet. Help more kids while having a great time at the JA Bowl-a-thon. Sign your team up and raise money to ensure the educational programs focused on financial literacy, career readiness, and entrepreneurship are always free to thousands of students. The JA Bowl-a-thon is February 16th and 17th at Parkway Lanes and Hollywood Bowl. Register at lincoln.ja.org.
Golfing in 72 degrees and perfect conditions in Nebraska doesn't seem possible in the winter, but it is. Double Eagle Golf is your escape from the bone-chilling cold outside and a reason to keep your clubs out year-round. Book a bay with some friends for a weekend or come by for golf and happy hour on a weekday. Spring leagues begin in February. Get signed up today. That's all at Double Eagle Golf inside the Kinetic Sports Complex at West O Street. Online at doubleeagle.golf. Fairway Meat Market has everything you need for meat and cold drinks for the big game this Sunday. Now through February 11th, enjoy fresh chicken wings for $2.99 per pound, USDA choice brisket for $4.99 per pound, all natural St. Louis pork ribs for $1.99 per pound, USDA whole prime beef tenderloin for $19.99 per pound, 10-pound tubes of 80% lean ground beef for $2.99 per pound, and 30 packs of Busch Light for just $17.99. Fairway Meat Market, just south of 84th and Van Dorn.
Now back to On the Block with Strick and Austin on 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com.
Back one final time in hour one of the show. I'm Austin Norman, Husker Hall of Famer Erick Strickland to my left. To your right, if you're watching on the stream, Facebook, YouTube, Twitch, and Twitter. Don't forget to follow at On the Block 93.7 for all you need to know about this show. Tomorrow, we didn't get into it today, but tomorrow I want to go over that final play for Nebraska, Illinois. Rink mass, the decision. Before that with Keisei Tominaga, I really want you to break that down for people straight. You know, what could he have done? What should he have done? I think it'll be interesting to play it out one final time before Nebraska Northwestern on Wednesday. But to the text line, we go. The disappointment of the loss versus the jumping off point potentially for the team. Tommy says, I think the loss can be a turning point for Nebraska. They still could have won the game besides the bad officiating. The hustle, the comeback at the end of regulation was inspiring. Tommy can see Nebraska going 7-1 down the stretch. 7-1 down the stretch gets you to 23-8 before the Big Ten tournament.
That. Hey, listen, if they go 7-1 out of their next 8 games, you're double bye for sure.
Oh yeah,
you're double bye for sure. You might even be knocking at the door of 3.
Because you're 13-7 in conference then?
Yeah.
Woo!
You could be. Like just on a note, let's just go and take a look at what's left for example, Northwestern down their stretch. Let's just do a quick breakdown. Northwestern in their final games is Nebraska, Penn State, Rutgers, Indiana, Michigan, Maryland, Iowa, Michigan State, and Minnesota. It's very reminiscent. So you know, whoever wins that battle is going to be the person that wins that. So you would hope to go and get this win. So you got 2 games up on them. So however it may fall, if you fall equal to them, or even 1 down to them, you're up on them. So that's a good thing. So now that's them. So they got a pretty similar schedule to you. Not difficult games that are winnable for them. They're a pretty tough team. Look at Wisconsin down the stretch. Wisconsin coming in, they go to Michigan, they go to Rutgers. Those are gettable games for them, especially after coming off 2 losses back-to-back. Ohio State, Iowa, Maryland, Indiana. There's a tough one in Illinois, but then they got to play Purdue again. Ooh. So they have some difficulties. They got some easy ones. They got still Rutgers twice, Ohio State. But the ones that are possible losses for them, Iowa potentially on the road because that's a good matchup for them.
Mm-hmm.
Indiana, I think they're better than Indiana, and they'll get Ohio State at home. Michigan is just bad, and I think they're going to come back fired up after 2 losses. So if they go with their record, they go at the end, they can end up possibly losing 2 or 3 more games. And right now their record is 16-6.
Sounds like someone else I know.
Right? Mm-hmm. And what's their Big Ten record, though?
They've got a game on Nebraska, game or 2 on Nebraska, I think.
So 2 games.
Mm-hmm.
So if you go 7-1, you equal them, and you own. Do you own tiebreaker on them?
You only play them once.
You only played them once.
Mm-hmm.
There you go. That's something to hopefully look big picture on down the road. We're not even going to worry about Purdue. They're not catching them. Let's just be real about that. So those are the 2 teams that you're literally chasing. Michigan State now has popped in over you. Who they got? Michigan State down the stretch. They have a tough go.
Mm-hmm.
You know, they've got Illinois coming up. They got to go on the road to Minnesota. Minnesota is going to be hungry to get that one. Should get Penn State potentially on the road. Michigan, that's a rivalry game. You just never know how that goes. Iowa at home, Ohio State. Then they still got to go Purdue and on the road, and Northwestern and Indiana on the road to finish it off. So you still look good there. Now, last one is who you lost to, which is Minnesota, but you got a chance to redeem it.
Mm-hmm.
Minnesota has Michigan State at home, Iowa on the road, potential loss. Purdue on the road,
loss.
L. Rutgers at home, Ohio State at home, Nebraska at possible loss. They still got to play Illinois, and they still got to go to Northwestern and play Indiana. So they got a way tougher road than the other 2 teams that are ahead of you, which is Northwestern and Nebraska. Those are the ones that whoever wins out in that potentially can win that 4th slot. Lock it in.
It's all on the table for every one of these teams, right? This is just what the league wants, like that drama at the end of the year. You got 4, 5, 6 teams still alive for spots 3 and 4 in the conference.
Mm-hmm.
Not going to be many teams below that getting in. So you need to use this last really month and a half.
Separation.
Find it early.
You need separation because it's too bundled up right now. 1 or 2 losses send you to the bottom of the pack.
Not where you want to be.
7, 8, 9, area.
Mm-hmm.
And that's not where you want to be.
Ryan in Nashville, this year is different. I think we agree. You're bragging on the Huskers at work. You're proud of them. You have a 96.02 recommending a zone. That might be something we can talk about.
They did look
later.
good in the zone, but they didn't rebound out of it.
There you
That's
go.
the issue.
And then Augie said he thought they played well enough to win. Not happy with some of the decisions. Good to see a good fight on the road for the change. So I'm not upset. Keep your thoughts coming on Nebraska men's basketball. We're going to turn the page to some football, though.
Yeah. Hey, Augie. He didn't want to talk about that, Augie.
Talk about what?
Yeah,
I didn't see it.
I know you didn't see it. Augie said, "How about that Carolina game?" And with a laugh, Augie, he didn't want that smoke.
Who did NC State play?
No, we talking about Duke getting blasted by North Carolina. What's up?
Okay, now blasted is a bit of a stretch, but yeah, the headline is higher ranked team wins at home.
Cool. I told you, Augie, he didn't want that smoke.
No, I didn't. It's a bummer.
Hey, Baycott gave Filipowski that work. I'm just going to be honest.
Not be playing the 5. Yeah.
He gave Filipowski that work.
He sure did.
Okay.
Yep. We can all admit that. That's all right. Regular season finale in Cameron. Revenge tour kicks off. He's Strick. I'm Austin. Augie's trolling on the text line. Come back with us for hour 2.
This is Lincoln's home for sports talk on the FM dial. Also online at theticketfm.com.
On the internet.
KNTK FM Firth, 93.7 The Ticket.
Action Plumbing, Heating, Air, and Electric brings exciting career opportunities for you or someone you know. They are now hiring plumbers, electricians, and HVAC techs and installers to continually build their professional team. They offer competitive pay and full benefits packages that include health, dental, vision, PTO, and 401k options. Action has created a positive team environment for over 50 years. Apply online at actionlincoln.com.
The Omaha Supernovas are back in action this Wednesday, February 7th versus the Vegas Thrill at the CHI Health Center in Omaha. The Mullen Motors pregame show with Derek Pearson and Renee Saunders starts at 6 p.m. with first serve at 7. Make sure to tune in to the Next Ag Appraisal and Realty postgame show right after the match ends. Catch all the action on your flagship station, 93.7 The Ticket, and statewide on the Supernovas Radio Network. Attention all Wings fans. 89-cent wings are back on Tuesdays at Buffalo Wings and Rings in Lincoln. Enjoy the best wings in town for boneless or traditional at a price that makes the whole family happy. And now at the Williamsburg Village Wings and Rings, you can enjoy $1.50 tall boys in Bud Light, Coors Light, Busch Light, and Michelob Ultra every day after 7 p.m. and all day on Sundays. Get to Wings and Rings today and make sure to stop by on Tuesdays for 89-cent wings.
Have you been accused of a crime? Is your liberty and freedom at stake? At Liberty Law Group, we are committed to defending the liberty and pursuing justice for those accused. Going to court is stressful, overwhelming, and full of uncertainty. At Liberty Law Group, we carry that burden for you. When legal troubles are keeping you up at night, trust Liberty Law Group to fight your battles. Call 877-42-LIBERTY. That's 877-42-LIBERTY.
Stop asking your friends if they're hosting a party this Sunday and come for the real party instead. Join 93.7 The Ticket for the big game at Wings and Rings at 68th and O this Sunday and walk away with great prizes just for showing up. Why worry about making a great spread of food for the game at your house when you can enjoy all the great wings and more at Wings and Rings? It's the big game party with 93.7 The Ticket at Wings and Rings this Sunday at 68th and O.
Okay, it's time to sell the house. How do we even begin to choose from the hundreds of realtors in town?
Easy. We make a pros list.
You mean a pros and cons list?
No, just a pros list. We need someone with pro photography to showcase the house in the best possible way, pro marketing to make sure we get maximum exposure, pro negotiations so we know we get the best price.
This is one of those times where you already know the right answer, isn't it?
You know it is. Ben Bleicher and Professional Realty Group.
Contact Ben Bleicher and the team at Professional Realty Group of Berkshire Hathaway's Home Services Ambassador. Online at prg-ne.com.
Fairway Meat Market has everything you need for meat and cold drinks for the big game this Sunday. Now through February 11th, enjoy fresh chicken wings for $2.99 per pound, USDA choice brisket for $4.99 per pound, all natural St. Louis pork ribs for $1.99 per pound, USDA whole prime beef tenderloin for $19.99 per pound, 10-pound tubes of 80% lean ground beef for $2.99 per pound, and 30 packs of Busch Light for just $17.99. Fairway Meat Market, just south of 84th and Van Dorn.
Are you in the market for a new garage door or need to repair your old one? It's wintertime, and that means snow, wind, and freezing temperatures, all things that can cause sticky locks and damage to your garage door. If you're experiencing any issues with your commercial or residential garage door during the winter months, call Cameron Hall and his team at Doors Plus. Don't be trapped outside in the cold because of a poorly maintained garage door. Call Doors Plus today at 402-590-5800 or visit them online at doorsplusllc.com. Doors Plus, garage doors and more.
Gaina Trucking is hiring CDL Class A and B drivers. Gaina Trucking guarantees a 40-hour work week year-round, and their strong team culture makes it not a job, but a career. Gaina Trucking offers health, vision, and dental insurance, 401k with company match, an employee assistance program, and other bonus programs. Build a better career today with great team culture at Gaina Trucking. Learn more and apply today at GainaTrucking.com.
Are you working in or looking to get into the electrical construction industry? The electrical workers of Local Union 265 are now hiring licensed journeymen and apprentices and are offering great pay and benefits. Call Mike at 402-875-1034 to apply. Start your electrical career today.
Gaina Trucking is hiring CDL Class A and B drivers. Gaina Trucking guarantees a 40-hour work week year-round, and their strong team culture makes it not a job, but a career. Gaina Trucking offers health, vision, and dental insurance, 401k with company match, an employee assistance program, and other bonus programs. Build a better career today with great team culture at Gaina Trucking. Learn more and apply today at GainaTrucking.com.
Bagels and Joe is the best place to start off your mornings, and you can order your breakfast ahead of time on their app. February's cream cheese flavor is white chocolate raspberry. Pair it with a very berry chai. Stop by any of their 4 locations in Lincoln and their location in Seward. Bagels and Joe.
Your child was embarrassed when you arrived at their basketball game. 75% of parents or guardians report current alcohol use. Drinking alcohol can cause harm to children and loved ones. By drinking less, your child will be excited to see you at their basketball game. If you or a loved one is looking for help, find a treatment facility near you at findtreatment.gov. For immediate support, call, text, or chat 988.
Brought to you by Nebraska DHHS in partnership with SAMHSA.
This is On the Block with Strick and Austin. Nebraska Basketball Hall of Famer and 9-year NBA vet, Erick Strickland.
Strickland for three! And you're going to go out of here as the Big 8 tournament champion.
Middle school basketball coaching legend and Duke basketball shooting coach in his mind, Austin Orman. Coming at you live from the heart of Lincoln, America. On air and online at theticketfm.com. Brought to you by Mary Ellen's Food for the Soul. This is On the Block with Strick and Austin.
Welcome to it, hour 2 of the show, diving into the football realm. Spent last hour breaking down Nebraska's 3-point road loss to Illinois. If you missed it, either rewind the broadcast after you're done with hour 2 of the show, or check it out on your drive home after work, on your drive to work tomorrow. As part of the podcast that'll be up later tonight. We turn our attention to the football world. A few news and notes to get out of the way first. First of all, tip of the cap, big congratulations to former Husker Rex Burkhead, who just announced his retirement about an hour ago on Twitter. Rex Burkhead, one of the defining figures of my childhood when it comes to Husker football. So big shout out to Rex. And Stricky, everyone was saying it was a weekend.
Sexy Rexy.
Sexy Rexy is right. Everyone was saying it was a weekend without football. But hey, we had the Pro Bowl flag football game. I'm sure you were watching that intently, right?
There was let me caveat it this way. There was a gentleman by the name of Dave Chappelle. He had a show on called The Chappelle Show. So when we talk about this game, the Pro Bowl, there was a segment when he was playing Rick James. You'd have to go on and watch it. Don't believe me? Go check it out. In that segment, he had 2 honeys on there, and on those honeys, they were talking about Tiggle Bitties.
Mm-hmm.
And he says, I give those Tiggle Bitties 2 thumbs down. That's what I do for the Pro Bowl. I give them 2 thumbs down in the voice of Dave Chappelle playing Rick James. It was horrible. And I mean,
not good.
Horrible.
Mm-hmm.
And that's not even Spanish or English. Horrible.
It's in the Strictionary now.
It's in the Strictionary.
Mm-hmm.
Horrible.
Mm-hmm.
That was terrible.
Doo-doo Brown.
Good and terrible. Yeah, that's what I think about that. Austin, let's really get into this. I need your opinion, folks. 402-464-56. I need your opinion. What all-star games? You can go across the board. MLB, NBA, NFL. I don't know. Do they even have a soccer one? I don't think they do.
I don't think so.
NHL now. I watched NHL. I thought that was pretty cool. So NHL, keep doing what you're doing. I actually watched it and enjoyed it. The different skills and all the things that they did, and they ain't played the game yet. I don't know how physical they're gonna get in the game. Like, is there gonna be some fights in the game? I wonder if it's gonna jump off. But honestly, what does the NFL, NBA, and MLB need to do to keep it interesting so folks are engaged? I used to go to all-star games and I thought it was okay. It was fun. You knew that maybe they were going to chill out the first half, and then the second half, the intensity was going to pick up. Fourth quarter defense was going to kick in, and it was going to be about, pride, who's going to win. Now it's just some garbage.
They need to get rid of it. But
hot garbage.
No one cares.
Stanky.
The monetary aspect is not enough.
Yeah.
The game itself is not worthwhile enough. I mean, you can look at it both ways, right? The NBA has it in the middle of the season. Why are guys going to be motivated to go all out and play hard in a game that's supposed to be their break in the middle of an 82-game slog? And these all-stars are probably on playoff teams who have at least another 4 games, if not closer to 10, to look forward to. Or you're at the end of a long NFL season. Your body's beat up. You probably played through a couple injuries. It's great to have the honor and be recognized, but are you really going to play for that?
I'm gonna throw something out.
Okay.
Real quick. I'm gonna throw something out. Like your guy down in Kansas City.
Bye, Bobby Witt. My boy.
I'm going to throw something
He's
out.
back. He's extended. Hallelujah, amen.
I had to give him a bone,
Continue.
y'all. I had to give him a bone.
Thank you.
Now I'm going to throw this out. In the NBA, if you play in the All-Star game, it's like extra credit in school.
Ooh.
If you go and miss your 65-day window and it can kick a bonus in for you, or it can give you an All-Star nod or a top NBA, if you play, you might get a 5-game bonus or something added to it. So if you was injured and you missed a lot early, but you still good enough to make the All-Star team because your 65 credit don't, hurt you at the, it's like bonus credit.
Or you can play the All-Star game so you can sit out 5 games down the stretch.
Right.
Keep your legs fresh. Either way.
Right. It gives you
I see
bonus.
where you're going.
That's just something I'm throwing
you.
out. I want to hear from y'all. 402-464-5685. That's Stricky's proposal. What you got?
Ryan in Nashville says the NHL goes hard. Yep. NHL All-Star game
that's
is
a fact.
fun. And the home run derby for MLB is always
Keep
the
it.
best.
I'm down with that. Keep that. Kick the game. Okay. Since we there, I still want to hear your NBA thing. MLB, I think they should bring it back.
Dinger derby, bunt derby, outfield throw derby. Who has the strongest arm? Who can hit it the
Or
target most
hit the
accurately?
target. You put the net up.
Mm-hmm.
Hit the net. Get point. Yeah, I like that.
I would also like a base running version, like you can go first to third, second to home the fastest, but also tie that in with the outfield. I don't think it would work because catchers and blocking the plate, there's a lot of potential for injuries there.
Yeah.
But I would love to see guys, outfielders versus base runners in a take the next base or get thrown out competition.
Okay, there you go. I think it should be worth something. I remember when they had the American League against the National League, and whoever won the All-Star game got home field advantage. So it kind of gave you something to play, even though, you still wanted maybe your conference to win as opposed to the other. I think bring it back.
Why not?
Or if you're going to have an All-Star game, have the All-Stars against the world.
Yeah. We talked about that with basketball. The winner of the NBA Finals against the winner of, La Liga.
True world championship.
Right.
Yeah.
No, baseball with the World Baseball Classic is what we talked about. World Series champ versus Venezuelan League, Dominican League, Japanese League, Korean League champ.
Yeah.
Yes. Sign me up for that.
I'm down with that. I would be all in for that. That's like a World Cup every year.
Yes.
Right? Would you agree?
I think so.
Yeah. I'm down with that. How you feel?
The NBA, I think, should really lean into the skills aspect of it, right? Kind of like the NHL has done, like I think baseball should do the 3-point shootout, turn it into a 4-point shootout too, a half-court competition. I kind of like the ball handling instead of maybe the dunk contest, which will keep going. Who has the craziest handle? I don't know. I don't know how you judge that. It's subjective like the dunk contest. What else could you do? You could do... How do we reward defense? How do we get the stoppers? Do we get like a volleyball swat competition at the rim? Do we get a competition where
that's a risk of injury? They're not going to do that.
Okay. You get like Marcus Smart versus Kyrie Irving. How long can Marcus Smart keep Kyrie Irving outside the 3-point line?
Do a 1v1. Offense, defense.
Could.
If you get the stop, if you're going to do the offense, defense, if you get the stop, you get 2 points. If you get the bucket, you get 1. But if you shoot the 3, you get 2.
Yeah.
So that's your way to get 2.
Play to 21 by 1s and 2s and 2s.
Yeah.
15.
Something like that. I
like it.
But some cakeola on it.
How do you determine who that is? Is it all-stars or is it like top 8 scorers?
Top defensive people, and it could be by the coaches or the players who are the top defensive players against the top, offensive players or so forth and so on, and go after it for the cakeola.
What if
team? It's a team thing. So I'm saying your defensive team, however more points you amass compared to the offensive team, wins the cake.
The
money that I mean.
Yeah. The other idea I like is what the Futures game did, where they had the 5 teams or the 4 teams, and then they played each other, and then those 2 winners played. Can we break up the all-star teams into, so there are 24 all-stars, 12 from each conference. Can you do 4 teams of 6 play East 1 versus West 2, West 1 versus East 2.
Kind of like the big three, implement the big three into it.
Why not?
And just implement the big three
Play
for the
3-on-3. Why not?
And in that way, you're not expanding all kinds of energy. You just kind of stay in the half court.
Yeah.
I mean, we just spitballing. We want to know what y'all think. Be creative, because I really do think they need to do something to spruce it up a little bit, because it's just really doo-doo. I have no interest in watching it, to be honest.
1423 Bruce said, what if the NFL gave the winning team a fairly large sum of money? Obviously, it would be expensive, but the NFL might end up making that much money when people actually watch it. Is money the answer? Would that do the trick after such a long season?
To guys that at some point are making like a Brock Purdy, to play in it, he might be excited. Like, I'm gonna go get this Skrilla.
Brock Purdy gets a cool mill, he's in.
You know what I'm saying? Guys like that. But the Mahomes and the guys like that, they're like, please, I'm trying to go on the beach. I'm trying to be in Abu Dhabi. I'm trying to be in Thailand. I'll be there in a couple weeks. You know what I'm saying? Like, I'm trying to do something like that. I ain't trying to be on no doggone football field. I do that enough. And that's kind of the mentality that is. It used to be an honor. It's not really that anymore.
That might be the best idea. Turn it into another awards show, right?
Yeah.
Don't even play football, right? Have the skills competitions, have the fun stuff, but you don't actually have to play a game, right?
Yeah.
Everyone knows that it's just filler trying to get through to the Super Bowl. Just have another awards show. Have it out in Hawaii. Take care of a lot of expenses. Bring families for a vacation.
Yeah.
Guys will at least go. You can put it on TV. People will actually maybe watch if the awards haven't been leaked before. I think you get rid of the actual game.
I do too. I think the game's got to go. You know, NBA, Ryan in Nashville says the NBA is screwed. Use the 3-point contest. Oh, okay. He said, you guys already said that. You said that, right? Did you already talk about that?
We touched on it, but didn't shout Ryan out. So
okay. Yeah, Ryan. I mean, I'm good with that, man.
I think we talked about this last year, but Mac McClung winning the dunk contest was, on the one hand, really cool for him. You know, I think it's a great way to bring some of those under the radar guys to light, but it also kind of emphasizes the point that not even the All-Stars take All-Star Weekend seriously.
Yeah, that's where it's gotten to. You've been there enough, you've seen it enough, you watched it as a kid enough, and you just get to a point where it's like, because you got to do media, you got to do all this stuff. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
So it's just another hassle, another headache. You know, traveling. You know, you don't. I mean, it used to be like unnamed texter said, 0022. He says, yeah, you said it straight today. It's all about getting yours. Team is way down on the list as a priority. It used to be about camaraderie.
Mm-hmm.
It used to be about Michael Jordan and Charles Barkley and those guys getting together, playing golf, and then having a little friendly competition. But it's a competition of who, you know, I'm him, you know, and I'm going to show you in this game.
And I'm sure they did that less during the season than today's players do with the fraternization.
Yeah. Yeah. So it was, good point. Because then it was really competition. Like, it was a rarity that you would go on the road and you would see a team that you was playing against and you would go and connect with that person and have dinner. That was a rarity. You would go with your team and have, you know, your guys on your team and do some stuff. But it was a rarity to go to another, you know, state. It happened every now and then. Few and far between. So that was a time for those guys to finally get together, compete, lay down the guards and you know, be on the same team for the one time. That was the one time you was going to get to see me play with Charles Barkley or play with Patrick Ewing or play with Gary Payton. You know what I'm saying? So that was what was cool about it back then. Now it's like these guys are all cool anyway. So that's just another day of me wasting my time. That's how they feel.
Yeah, straight up. Couple minutes left in the segment before we look at some Husker football recruiting with Brian Munson. Dan Quinn named head coach of the Washington Commanders. Stricky, he's not bringing Eric Bieniemy back as offensive coordinator. Yeah. We know about Eric Bieniemy and the head coaching interviews that he's had. Still hasn't landed that head coaching job. The Commanders were the final vacancy to be filled. Eric Bieniemy is a darn good coach. He's going to have a job somewhere. Do you think he would be willing to go back to Kansas City and say, I can make this offense what it used to be? Or do you think that bridge is basically burned and the only way he's back to Kansas City is if he, for some reason takes over for Andy Reid?
That's probably the move. They know you. They're comfortable with you. Team likes you. It looks as if they're not going anywhere. At this point, you can understand. To me, the Bieniemy situations is very similar to a Scottie Pippen. It's just Scottie Pippen didn't leave, right? Everything's going good. You're winning. The legendary head coach is there. Your success is really his success. So you go and try to make your own name, so to speak, outside, because people still believe that Andy Reid still has sway in the offensive stuff, even though really it's Bieniemy, but they do some co-working together on things and so forth and so on. But at the end of the day, it's kind of like go and find out what I got, what I can do. Can I make my name on my own? Everybody believes it's really him. And then you realize, you know what? This was a sweet spot. I might need to get back to it. Yeah.
Matt Nagy was not doing the trick for Kansas City. Not nearly to the same level that Eric Bieniemy was. No. And again, you can look at the reduction in skill position talent, but there's just something different, even about the process of the offense. So we were going to talk Patrick Mahomes and his legacy. We have plenty of time to do that throughout the week. But Strick, I think if Eric Bieniemy were to come back to Kansas City, Patrick Mahomes would have a lot of say in that. I think Jay's talked about this on Old School a few times, but Bieniemy will challenge Mahomes probably more than Matt Nagy has, right? We had those confrontations, right, between those two guys on the sideline. I think if Patrick Mahomes wants to up his legacy, give him a chance to maintain that dominance for a while, withstanding the obvious caveat that Eric Bieniemy would probably get hired somewhere else again as a head coach at some point down the line. I think it would be a huge sign of maturity and show people where Patrick Mahomes' focus is if he says, yeah, this team is better with Eric Bieniemy on it. We have to bring him back.
He has that sway. I think he has, that type of power. There's some good and things that maybe Mahomes maybe didn't like, but appreciates that back and forth energy that they had, whether it was for the good or for the bad. There's a level of creativity that I think has been missed that I haven't seen since Bieniemy left. Just certain plays that I saw that it was a lot of creativity in it. It was adding a lot of different pieces. It's a lot of different looks. And, maybe that magic can come back. I mean, we'll see. We don't know.
We will keep talking about the Super Bowl throughout the week. Text line just for fun. Throw us your predictions now. Who wins? Chiefs or Niners? Feel free to change your prediction throughout the week.
They're going to try to give it to the Swifties.
You think? Ooh. Strick is going with the Kansas City Swifts. The Kansas City Chiefs. I'm leaning 49ers right now, but I can be talked into the Chiefs. We'll keep getting to that throughout the week, but we're going to step aside. When we get back, we'll have Brian Munson on the line. Wednesday would be normally signing day. Not a big deal anymore with the early signing day taking up a lot of the headlines, but Nebraska football in the running for a key edge rush prospect. We'll also get Brian's thoughts on what's going down between Tennessee, Virginia, and the NCAA. All that and more next with Brian Munson.
Golfing in 72 degrees and perfect conditions in Nebraska doesn't seem possible in the winter, but it is. Double Eagle Golf is your escape from the bone-chilling cold outside and a reason to keep your clubs out year-round. Book a bay with some friends for a weekend or come by for golf and happy hour on a weekday. Spring leagues begin in February. Get signed up today. That's all at Double Eagle Golf inside the Kinetic Sports Complex at West O Street. Online at doubleeagle.golf.
Gentlemen, Valentine's Day is just around the corner. Don't be that guy running to the store for flowers and a card on your way home. Hey, Rick Heyman here from Sartor Heyman Jewelers. We have great Valentine's gifts in store now. And if you spend $99, we'll throw in a free bouquet of a dozen roses. Give her what she really wants this year and let us do the rest. Sartor Heyman Jewelers, your hometown jeweler since 1905 in Lincoln and Grand Island. Online at sartorheyman.com.
You can get diesel anywhere, but what about atomic diesel? That comes from Stern. Atomic Diesel is your solution to all your cold weather problems. Prevent clogged fuel filters, increase your fuel economy, and save money with Atomic Diesel. Contact Roger at Stern today by calling 1-800-477-2744 to see how Atomic Diesel and the rest of their line of fuels and lubricants can keep your operation running at max capacity.
Have you been accused of a crime? Is your liberty and freedom at stake? At Liberty Law Group, we are committed to defending the liberty and pursuing justice for those accused. Going to court is stressful, overwhelming, and full of uncertainty. At Liberty Law Group, we carry that burden for you. When legal troubles are keeping you up at night, trust Liberty Law Group to fight your battles. Call 877-42-LIBERTY. That's 877-42-LIBERTY.
Houses? They're expensive. And once you buy one, you're kind of stuck with it for a while. You need to make sure you get your best house for the best price. You need Ben Bleicher and his team of pros at Professional Realty Group. They'll take the time to figure out what's important for you in your dream home, and they have the expertise to find the hidden issues that could surprise you after the sale. That's professional knowledge, proactive service. We call that potential. Ben Bleicher and the team at Professional Realty Group of Berkshire Hathaway's Home Service Ambassador. Find more online at prg-ne.com.
Your home is your empire. Protect it with Empire Fence. Get a free instant quote with the online estimating tool at empire-fence.com. See an upfront estimate with no hidden fees. An Empire Fence can provide privacy and improve the appearance of your home. Keep kids and pets in or out of your yard. Increase security and add value to your property. Visit empire-fence.com now to view the stylish and maintenance-free possibilities for your home and get a free instant online quote. Let Empire Fence protect your empire.
A team succeeds when they work together. Banking's no different. At UBT, we're in your corner for every financial move you want to make. Your money's backed by a roster of experts who put in the work to know you and your community. So whether you're opening a savings account, buying a home, or planning your future, you always know who to turn to. Working together toward your financial goals. That's a win in our playbook. Union Bank and Trust. Equal housing lender, member FDIC.
93.7 The Ticket. Fox KFXL weather. Brought to you by Bryant Air Conditioning, Heating, Electrical, and Plumbing.
Your Lincoln forecast for today: patchy fog possible this morning, then mainly sunny this afternoon. See a high near 51. Tonight, partly cloudy, then patchy fog developing late with a low near 32. And tomorrow, more fog in the morning, then mainly sunny in the afternoon. We'll see a high near 57. I'm meteorologist Kyle Clutton from 93.7 Ticket and theticketfm.com.
Now back to On the Block with Strick and Austin on 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com.
We're back on the block. Austin Norman and Erick Strickland with you. We go to our VIP line brought to you by Aloe Fiber, where they understand the importance of exceptional service with what, Stricky?
With exceptional heart.
Indeed. We welcome in Husker Online's Brian Munson. He is our recruiting insider, and normally this time of year would be a big deal with signing day being on Wednesday. But Brian, I still don't know just how used to the new cycle people are that signing day isn't a big deal because it's early signing day. I forgot until this weekend that signing day was on Wednesday. I still don't get it.
Dude, I think that you're not the only one. So I always remembered that like the first Wednesday of the month of February was just the biggest thing for me every single year until the December date came around. And I really thought the December date was kind of a fad. Mm-hmm. I didn't think it was really going to be that big of a deal. I felt like, the junior college guys are going to have their day, and the early enrollers will have their day. And I had just no idea that 95+% of all of the guys that were going to sign would basically move their process so far left. So you're not the only one. It's a little bit of an afterthought for everybody. I know a year ago for Nebraska fans, it was way more interesting because they were still putting together, a significant part of their roster with all the portal transfer guys and a few high school guys. But this year it'll be much quieter.
One guy really on the radar, I think, for Nebraska, right, in Keona Wilhite. Tell us about him, and is there anyone else that might be in the works for the Huskers?
Oh, there might be another one out there, but I'm not really ready to divulge that one. It's Keona's the only guy that I would count on that is going to be a scholarship guy, but I do believe that there's going to be another fairly significant walk-on that'll be added to the class. Keona is an interesting dude. We had previously reported that basically things looked like that it had moved in favor of UCLA, and some things changed. Some things changed over the weekend. Let's just put it that way. Now we're feeling very good about Nebraska's chances to grab Wilhite on Wednesday. Wednesday is Wilhite is a big get for Nebraska because he can play both the jack linebacker, he can play the will linebacker. He's potentially even a guy that can put his hand in the dirt, move down to kind of a 5, maybe play a 7. Really that multi, kind of dimensional edge kind of player that's either playing in a 2-point or a 3-point, somewhere between like a Prince Will and a Cameron Lenhart. I think that this is kind of where I would kind of, compare him. I think it's a really good get for Nebraska. I think it really addresses one of the keys or one of the needs. I think that, that we would all kind of agree was still kind of necessary, that they didn't get that pass rusher, in the group. I think they probably still could have used an interior defensive lineman if they ever would have latched on to another Carlin Jones someplace. They could have used a running back once you kind of, T1 Lacey had decided to cut ties with Nebraska in November. That really kind of changed everything up for them as well. But I think getting this edge rusher this late in the game, because of his decommitment and his NLI being revoked, or asking for a release actually from his NLI to Washington, basically created a huge opportunity for Nebraska, and they did a really good job to basically demonstrate how he will be used in Lincoln.
Speaking of running backs from Texas, a Nebraska great from down there announced his retirement today, Rex Burkhead. Brian, in my head, I always just think of Rex Burkhead as this, grinder out of nowhere kind of guy that no one really thought about. It surprised me to learn today that Rex Burkhead was a 4-star recruit and the number 43 recruit in the state of Texas, which is basically top 100 nationally, some years.
He was Superman. I tell you what, I went and watched him play. What game was that? It was before the Skyline High School playoff game. And I think that Rex was playing quarterback, running back, safety, a little wide receiver, and some returner duties. And Skyline at the time was the high school in Dallas. Basically the DISD, kind of like that was the place. That was, and I can't remember any of the dudes that were playing against him. Most of those guys ended up going to Minnesota, if I remember correctly. They must have had 4 or 5 guys that were going D1. Anyway, and Rex was a one-man show. He did everything. He tore up Skyline single-handedly. That was, the thing about Rex was nobody really had a great beat on where he fit the most, where he fit the best. Is it wide receiver? Is it running back? Is it safety? Is it some sort of an athlete kind of role? This is a guy that was also, probably could have been a collegiate baseball player, played middle infielder, if I remember correctly. Was a very good basketball player as well. Just an exceptional athlete, and obviously had a brother that played defensive end, I believe, for Harvard. So really smart family. Dad is in the FBI. It was a heck of a career for Rex. It was a big get for Bo Pelini. People don't understand. Pulling Rex Burkhead out of Texas was a huge thing. I do believe that he was going to leave in the state, but I think it really came down to Nebraska, Virginia for him. I think UT, Texas was there, kind of at the end trying to figure out where he was going to fit, but Nebraska really put together a great proposal and a way of kind of seeing Rex, and obviously the rest is history.
Did Nebraska see him as a running back as soon as he got to campus, or was there any of that, during the process, thinking through, talking with Burkhead, talking with assistant coaches on offense or even defense, where Rex Burkhead was going to play?
No, he was a running back. That was absolutely like a slam dunk. Like that's what you're going to do. And he got down there early, if I recall. And I remember seeing like his progress through like just 4 months in the strength and conditioning program that once he got there, and just was just built in a way that was different, when it came to true freshman and how he was kind of then, putting himself together, being ready to kind of play as a true freshman, which I think was big because I think Amir Abdullah ended up getting hurt later that season. So he ended up having to get kind of thrown into the action. And I think that there was some questions about how big of a role he was going to kind of play, ramping him up. And then I think it was kind of, you're the guy, like we're going to lean on you now. So he was absolutely going to be a running back for Nebraska, but that just brings back a lot of memories talking to him, talking to his family, getting a chance to meet all of them down here at a couple of events. Just a wonderful group. So hopefully he's enjoying his retirement. I think he bought a house in Plano. I think he's back home.
I'm not going to ask you if you're 1 through 10 rankings or even further. Is Rex Burkhead a top 10 running back in Nebraska football history? Is he just outside that conversation?
No, he's in there. He's absolutely in there. I couldn't rattle off, where he was at necessarily. I don't think he's top 5. I think he's somewhere in that 7 to 9 range, but he's absolutely in the top 10.
As we look at Nebraska recruiting in Texas, I know that's something Bo Pelini and that staff did, and then it dried up for a while. I know Matt Rule and his staff have made those efforts with their connections down in Texas. When Matt Rule came into Nebraska, Brian, were there still people around there who, had that institutional knowledge of Nebraska recruiting Texas that wondered why the Huskers ever left the state? Or was Matt Rule basically starting from scratch with his own connections and not relying on, anyone else even knowing people at Nebraska?
No, there was absolutely, the brand was still strong. I mean, I'm trying to think of a couple of separate things that had happened during that time frame. I mean, I think really what happened was Nebraska left the Big 12 to go to the Big 10, and Nebraska wasn't going to be playing any games, south of Lincoln when it came to the regular schedule. And they just said, well, we're not going back to Texas. And that's the reason why we felt like we were, could recruit the state, was because we were going to be in the state playing, a couple times, maybe 3 times, depending if we're in the championship, every single year. And then all of a sudden you were kind of taking away that access, from those players and the parents. And it seemed, I think, to them to be a tougher sell. But in reality, there's players that leave the state of Texas to go anywhere in the nation anyway. Big Ten's always had success coming down here and grabbing players. And certainly there's a lot of other teams that love to cherry pick the state of Texas. And Nebraska could have still stayed very strong, south of the Red River if they decided that they were going to go ahead and do that. But everything philosophically, fundamentally changed with recruiting. They shifted that footprint, to the east. Nebraska, they started going after kids in Ohio. They started going after kids more in the Big Ten footprint.
Florida, Georgia.
That was a big thing.
The other thing I want to ask you about that, Brian, is with Texas's move to the SEC. You know that players go all the way across the country from Texas anyways. Does it get easier for Nebraska to recruit in Texas with the Longhorns jumping to a new conference? Does it get more difficult with more SEC teams maybe trying to reach in with the appeal of, going to Texas every so often? Or is it just always going to be a free-for-all like it has been with just the sheer number of talent in Texas?
I think it stayed about the same, to be honest with you. I do feel like there isn't you already have A&M here, you had LSU next door, you're getting Oklahoma north of the Red River, so Oklahoma's closer to Dallas than Texas really is, right, from a distance perspective. So Austin to Dallas is further away than Norman to Dallas. So you still find those players that feel, a little bit more comfortable, going to Oklahoma, or you still find those guys that just say flat out, I'm going to go play somewhere else, in the country. I'm leaving the state. This is my opportunity to go ahead and do so. Texas is definitely trying their hardest to nail down every single player that they can in the state. There's always kind of been a gentleman's agreement, between A&M and Texas that, if the best players in the state don't want to go to their school, they will try to steer them to the other school. They want the best players to stay home. There's a benefit there for all sides when those players do that. So right now, I think though that Texas is kind of hitting on all cylinders. They're getting guys nationally, like Brandon Baker. They're getting all the guys to kind of stay home as well. And then A&M with their coaching change too, they've done good to kind of reconcile things. And after Jimbo had been fired, so it's going to be interesting to see how things kind of go moving forward. But nothing really has changed there. And SEC schools will continue to recruit the state of Texas. There's just too many guys that come up through Texas that can go play Division I football that Texas can't take them all.
We're talking with Brian Munson of Husker Online here. He did drop a nugget, didn't give a name or anything, but definitely stay tuned to Husker Online. I'm sure Brian's Twitter for some more news regarding Nebraska recruiting as we get closer to signing day. A different Orange UT is in the news, though, for recruiting reasons. Brian, Tennessee being investigated for more, improprieties with NIL, but with a Nebraska tie, their chancellor, Donnie Plowman, sent a letter, put out a statement about just the cognitive dissonance, really, with NIL and recruiting, where the NCAA says, recruits can talk to collectives, but those conversations can't be about recruiting. And Donnie Plowman basically said, so you're saying they can have the conversations, but they can't have the conversations because those are at their core recruiting conversations. Do Tennessee and Virginia have a case against the NCAA? Is Donnie Plowman right?
It's going to be really interesting. I think that if there is one thing through all the documentation, the letters, the conversation back and forth, the stuff that's been made public, I agree at least that NIL is not very clear. It's not very clear on basically what the things are that they can do. It's not very clear on the things that they can't do. And it seems like there's an idea that the NCAA holds about how it's supposed to work, and it's maybe almost like how it's being perceived or how they think that they're understanding it, and it's not the same way. So I think that there's going to be some things that come up here about clarification and basically the how foggy and how unclear the statements and the rules kind of are with the NCAA and the NIL. I personally felt like after reading some of the stuff last week, Tennessee felt like they weren't in the wrong about doing anything. The NCAA, on the other hand, they seem to feel like they have got a pretty strong case against Tennessee. So it's going to be interesting to kind of see how this thing kind of moves forward, because I feel like you have two sides that really truly feel like that, they feel like they're in the right when it comes to about how things have been handled.
Whenever we have the discussions about NCAA and NIL and enforcement, Strick always refers to the NCAA as, the Chihuahua, right? The yip, 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 not really the pit bull. But I want your opinion on this, Brian. Would it be better for the NCAA to keep trying to fight this fight and force the rules on its books and keep looking like the bad guy? Or is there maybe a period of time where the NCAA would go hands off, let it be the Wild West and say, okay, schools, this is what you asked for, and use that time, however long it is, 5 years, 10 years, to come together with leaders, student athletes, chancellors, presidents, business leaders, to come up with a solid plan that makes more people happy. So when people get frustrated, even more frustrated about the state of NIL, the NCAA can maybe save some face and be welcomed back as a, hey, you actually did your job right this time, sort of, conquering hero almost.
I almost feel like it's the Wild Wild West right now. Mm-hmm. I think we're already there. And is it helpful now to kind of keep going down this path to get a better sample of basically what the good things and the bad things are that are happening? Possibly, but then they're already calling Tennessee and other schools out, when it comes to, the NIL rule that they feel like are the rules that they feel like are so clear that other people will tell you that they're as clear as mud. I'm of the opinion that the NCAA, if they continue to keep acting out here, where if it's a Tennessee and whoever else next, to where they don't feel like the rules are clear and they're getting punished for this because it's leading open some things for substitution or, some assumption, they may find themselves, if we really start talking about a couple of super conferences, those super conferences may decide that the NCAA doesn't add a lot of value to them anymore, and that they can go ahead and basically create their own type of rules committee and have their own oversight that would be better than what the NCAA can even provide right now. And I think that they are really getting close to having that become a more of a bigger thought by other teams and other schools. And as we move closer to those two super conferences, that could happen.
Brian, that's a great point, because one of the things that I found is that they're picking and choosing those battles with. If you went and dug into everybody's treasure vaults and all that stuff, you can always find something. And it's like the one that really threw me off was the one with Florida State, I believe. One of the coaches, all he did was he's on an on-campus visit. All he does is drop him off at an NIL meeting, and he gets flagged for a penalty on that.
Yeah,
I think that's crazy. Like that's
And think about the worst thing that ever happened. Like, not the worst thing in NCAA history, but like maybe the most memorable is the famous Eric Crouch sandwich.
Yeah.
I mean, what are we really trying to do here? Were we missing the bags of money before that we all claimed and felt like we're there? Or now that you can pay these guys legally, but there's still a framework around it, that maybe that the rules still aren't being followed to the T, and we're still getting caught up on who's ride sharing and who's getting a little bit of another little privilege, when it comes to pennies on the dollar versus thousands of dollars. Give me a break. Some of the stuff that's being thrown out there now, this is not in the spirit of NIL. When Sam Keller brought this thing forward, the idea was my name, image, likeness is in this football game. I should have received some sort of compensation for that, which I think was $8 or $10 or whatever it was. But now these guys are signing hundreds of thousands of dollars worth of deals and driving leased vehicles and stuff like that. It's way, way different, I think, than anybody ever intended when Sam Keller first submitted basically that lawsuit.
Who missed the boat? Was it players, business leaders, administrators, or everyone?
Oh, I think everybody shares some blame here. I mean, I think you're going to give some people an inch, they're going to take you a mile, and they're going to figure out how far they can take this thing before the NCAA or somebody else says this thing is completely crooked. It's not working the way that we intended. You had a head coach from Boston College leave because he's sick of having to re-recruit the players that were already on his roster. I totally get it. Like I said, I think it's the wild, wild west right now. I think you're there. I think you're just in the early stages of it.
Last thing for you then, Brian, it's early in the week. You have full ability to change your predictions as we get closer. So your Super Bowl champion is?
Oh, man. I'm leaning towards San Francisco. And it is because I'm a little bit of an AFC guy, obviously, but I like McCaffrey. I like the way San Francisco dialed it back in a little bit last week. I felt like they could have got taken behind the woodshed a little bit in the first half, and they were able to get things calmed down. They're going to need that ability to kind of get back to what it is that they do great, and that's run the football. And Purdy can break the pocket and run the ball a little bit, and they got plenty of weapons from the tight ends to the wide receivers. So I love their defense. So I'm going to go with the 49ers.
You're saying they're more talented than the Taylor Swift conspiracy, basically.
I'm saying, woo!
No, I like what they do. I love that offense. When people say that's what Rule and Satterfield want to get towards, man, I will just go ahead and tell you right now, that would be a thing of beauty. Yeah. I really love watching the 49ers offense.
If 49ers let Kelsey go 11 for 11 in targets to receptions, they're in trouble.
Yeah, I totally agree. I do feel like they're still looking for a more dependable down the field threat, but Kelsey did a great job sitting down in those pockets in the zone and making some unbelievable catches, and he crushed Buffalo as well. They definitely have to rattle Mahomes a little bit, but I think the X factor, the real guy that makes the most difference to KC, is Pacheco.
Yeah.
I think Pacheco has a way of keeping drives alive and breaking off some runs. He's so tough to kind of get a square hit on, and Mahomes can do it with his feet too.
Brian, as always, we appreciate your time. We will direct people to your Twitter, to Husker Online, for that nugget you might be dropping by Wednesday. We'll look forward to that and chatting again here soon.
Sounds good, man. See you guys later.
That's Brian Munson of Husker Online with us on our VIP line, brought to you by Aloe Fiber, where they understand exceptional service with local heart. Jay Foreman's in the air. He's on a bird on the way to Vegas. Super Bowl week coverage. Don't forget, you can hear the Super Bowl here on 93.7 The Ticket. We will be out at Buffalo Wings and Rings on Sunday for the game. So no, Jay will bring DP in, cross it over, get you set up for Old School next.
Discover the difference that expertise and experience can make in your real estate journey with Next Ag Appraisal and Realty. Whether you need an appraisal, sales, or farm management, Next Ag comes up with a solution with your legacy and goals in mind. Next Ag isn't just their name, it's your future. So why wait? Visit their website today at www.nextagrealestate.com or give them a call at 402-380-0432 and turn your dreams into reality. Your land, your legacy, their solutions. Next Ag Appraisal and Realty.
You can get diesel anywhere, but what about atomic diesel? That comes from Stern. Atomic Diesel is your solution to all your cold weather problems. Prevent clogged fuel filters, increase your fuel economy, and save money with Atomic Diesel. Contact Roger at Stern today by calling 1-800-477-2744 to see how Atomic Diesel and the rest of their line of fuels and lubricants can keep your operation running at max capacity.
Hi, Sean Callahan here for Koppel Chevrolet GMC, and we'd like to say thank you for a record-setting 2023. So let's start off 2024 with the bang. They've got huge trade-in bonuses and finance bonusing happening right now on our new inventory at Koppel. Get up to $8,500 off select new models at Koppel. So if you're shopping for a new GM product, go to our website at koppelcars.com. You won't believe the discounts. Make that short money-saving drive down 144th Street. You'll be glad you did. Must have trade and finance with roof credit. Stock number G2076684.
Rico here with HIS Auto Care at 70th and Van Dorn, letting you know HIS is a great place to bring your vehicle for service. With superior service bumper to bumper, we'll treat your vehicle like it's your mother's. It doesn't get any better than that. So call 402-488-8934 and HIS Auto will make you glad you did. 5% off, mention this ad, and for sure your mother will be proud you called. 402-488-8934, HIS Auto Care, 70th and Van Dorn. God bless you.
February is National Pet Dental Health Month. At Parkview Animal Hospital, their skilled doctors and staff can help identify and treat a wide range of dental issues. If your pet is showing signs of bad breath, abnormal chewing or drooling, reduced appetite, or refusal to eat, now is a great time to speak to a member of their team and help get your pet back on track to a healthy lifestyle. Call Parkview Animal Hospital today at 402-423-6939 to learn more about their discounts on dental cleanings, procedures, and hygiene products.
My dream was to work in commercial banking, but it required a college degree and I didn't have one. I found out that Doane had classes for adult learners on the Lincoln campus and online. So I earned my bachelor's degree, and 5 months later, I landed my dream job. I decided to continue my education, and now I'm working on my MBA at Doane. For me, the Doane experience has been life-changing.
Your home is your empire. Protect it with Empire Fence. Get a free instant quote with the online estimating tool at empire-fence.com. See an upfront estimate with no hidden fees. An Empire Fence can provide privacy and improve the appearance of your home. Keep kids and pets in or out of your yard. Increase security and add value to your property. Visit empire-fence.com now to view the stylish and maintenance-free possibilities for your home and get a free instant online quote. Let Empire Fence protect your empire.
Wall-to-Wall Wine and Spirits is now open in Lincoln. Shop our expansive collection of wine, beer, spirits, and cigars at 5040 North 27th Street. From top-shelf liquor to crowd-favorite beer, Wall-to-Wall Wine and Spirits has a beverage for every taste and every budget. Plus, join our loyalty program to earn rewards and save on future purchases. Shop Wall-to-Wall Wine and Spirits at 5040 North 27th Street in Lincoln. That's 5040 North 27th Street.
Now back to On the Block with Strick and Austin on 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com.
Back one final time during On the Block. Austin Norman and Erick Strickland with you, joined by the boss man, DP, in the building. DP, what's good?
Good Monday, all. Good Monday. A lot going on, man. A lot going on.
We've talked a lot about Husker hoops, talked some NFL and stuff. I want your thoughts on this, DP. Strick and I went back and forth a little bit. Eric Bieniemy not being retained by the Washington Commanders, who hired Dan Quinn as head coach. My first thought is, what does it take to get him back in Kansas City? Would he want to do that? Would Mahomes want that? Or is it Bieniemy has to take over for Andy Reid to make it back to KC?
I think both he and KC should make all concessions and get back together. Y'all was wrong. Y'all were meant to be with each other. Y'all work better together. Mm-hmm. Like both parties involved. Like Patrick Mahomes wasn't going to DC, and Bieniemy's in DC trying to figure out how to make Patrick Mahomes out of Sam Howell.
Right.
Nah,
not working like that.
Not the same. They weren't. You can't shop in the same grocery store and get a Patrick Mahomes and a Sam Howell. They don't. No, they different departments altogether. So make you move. I don't know. I don't know. The whole DC thing, just it's whatever. Like you lost me. Like some Nebraska fans can identify. I hear you. I hear you tell me you gonna do different. But meh. You got Dan Quinn.
Right.
Okay, now if you tell me you're gonna get a bunch of assistants who are actually head coaches and you're gonna make it work, well, what we know about head coaches who become assistants is that they are always working for the next job rather than the job they're in.
Yeah.
They're always working for, hey, watch this. Hey, watch this. Let me showcase my skill set so I can get on out of here and get this real money. Like I get good money, but this real money is me as a head coach. I need the big office.
That part.
And if you're Kingsbury and you come in, you better understand what you're walking into, and you better understand what the mission is, right? You're gonna have to start over again. And yeah, you'll end up with a quarterback that you've already coached, right?
Mm-hmm.
That's a thing. But it's Washington, D.C. Those are media folks, like them grown folks out there. Or you come out there with the nonsense. It's not going to work. I mean, Rivera tried to do it on his own terms.
Yeah, don't put that on Ron Romero.
Yeah, sorry, Ron. Ron Rivera doing it his own way. But that's the league now, is that, and a part of this is the whole transfer portal NIL thing that at some point I'll unleash about. But we don't have the same rules for grown-ups as we do for kids, for college students. Like these dudes are moving around. How many jobs has Kingsbury had in the last 15 years? And it
was 5?
Like
quite a few.
Like
6?
You're not loyal to nothing but you.
Mm-hmm.
Right?
Yeah.
And you wonder where college students learn this stuff from.
Yeah.
Right? What are you saying to people? Like, okay, I mean, I don't think the days of seeing a Joe Gibbs type situation where a coach comes in and he coaches with one team his whole career as a head coach. I don't think those days. I don't think we're built for that anymore. And that's the big issue.
No stability.
That's the big. You think Coach K, any 30-year coaches like the ones that are in now, this is it. This is it. This is like trying to rebuild the Cal Ripken longevity streak. These folks ain't loyal like that. And the fan base needs to stop finger pointing at the wrong people. Stop. Look, the people in charge. Strick. When you're a kid in Omaha, you had a vision in your head. You knew who you wanted to play for. And if they had allowed, you would have played with that team forever. Like that's how it was working. We're not that anymore. So we got to stop putting it on young people, because young people mimic what the adults in the room offer, and it's whatever's allowed or what's taught and what's allowed.
Yeah.
Well, that's the league now. On a Super Bowl week, a lot of the conversations are going to be about let's get it right.
Let's pause 10 seconds for station ID here on 93.7 The Ticket.
This is Lincoln's home for sports talk on the FM dial. Also online at theticketfm.com. On the internet. KNTK FM Firth, 93.7 The Ticket.
Speaking of Super Bowl week, I know we'll talk plenty about it throughout the week. I know we're carrying it here on these very airwaves. Pretty cool story.
Did you see the post just now from Jake Sorensen?
I did not. Eagle One landed?
The Eagle has, the ticket has landed and it's posted up on Media Row at the Super Bowl. Now, listen.
Let's go.
Let me just let me just say this thing out loud. Yes, sir.
That's huge.
Yes, sir.
Huge.
And
that's huge for the ticket. For anybody, let alone.
We're Nebraska at Super Bowl.
Yeah.
We're Nebraska at Super Bowl.
Yeah.
Like we're the ones up front, got our own table, got our own banner, got our own credentials. And to tell you tomorrow morning it'll be 11:30 Vegas time. Former Commissioner Paul Tagliabue will kick off our coverage and our interviews, aside from the players and coaches that walk through. And to tell you this list of people, Kevin Harlan will be on the ticket. Mike Golick will be on the ticket. Tomorrow at 1 o'clock.
Radio hasn't been the same since Mike Golick has left.
Right?
Like, and ESPN.
Right? To get that they're all there, that we're not just going to bring you athletes. Carrot Top is going to sit with Jake Sorensen Wednesday at 1 o'clock. And I'm giddy over this. We've got a couple of chefs from America's Top Chef. We got a lot of those folks. We got Tony Khan. If you're into pro wrestling, you know who Tony Khan is.
Tony Khan tried to sign Tim Tebow.
Right. Like Tony Khan, like he's going to sit with us. We've got Megan O'Leary from UFC. If you ever watch UFC, Megan O'Leary's top, of course, Anthony Lionheart Smith from Omaha.
Boy.
Yeah, he from Omaha. He'll come with us on Thursday and Friday. He's actually, and it's a weird kind of dynamic what's happening in Vegas. So UFC is there at the Apex so it'll be like a fight night. And then just for grins and giggles, they moved up the Power Slap championships. Wow. So Thursday night, and then Anthony Smith, who loves it, is going to be, so there's a person who catches people.
Yeah.
Anthony Smith is the honorary catcher for Power Slap Thursday night. And this card, like I hate to say it, but I'm more excited about the Power Slap than the UFC. And then Thursday, I get in Thursday.
That's a crazy game.
Right.
Sport.
Look, it's real.
What?
Hey,
like your jaws got to be hurt.
Hey, and when you see there's a new woman superstar in it, and she's one, Strick. She's one of one.
Like, how do you ref? Like, to be a ref for that is amazing because there's palming and there's different things. There's flinching and there's different things that you literally have to have an eye for. That's in that split second.
Yeah,
I wouldn't want to do it.
Harder to call than a traffic with 6 pivot feet.
It's amazing, right? It's amazing. It's amazing to watch. And then Thursday,
like octopus feet.
But before that, of course, if you're a pro wrestling fan, the news from Friday night is that The Rock is returning.
Oh yeah,
The Rock is coming back, and he announced it. He marches into
SmackDown.
He walked out on SmackDown at WrestleMania Philadelphia, which again the ticket will be represented at Philly at WrestleMania, but it'll be The Rock versus Roman Reigns. Well, they just announced it Friday night, and they left. And he killed it. Strick, he crushed it.
Rock.
He crushed it, right? Well, Thursday in Vegas at Mandalay Bay, which is where we're going to be. They're holding a presser to do the official face-off for Rock and Roman Reigns, and yours truly has been invited to that. And this whole week is just going to be bananas. We got Sean Merriman, we've got Tiki Barber. Literally, it's just going to be off and on. So, Strick, we're going to bug you Thursday, Friday. We
need one like him.
Yeah, lights out, man. Lights out's coming. It's tons of coaches are coming through. Of course, we'll have players from both the 49ers and Chiefs and alumni from the 49ers and Chiefs will be on the ticket all this week.
You still more excited about the 49ers alumni lineup?
100%. 100. Strick, this is what I asked, right? 2 doors. 2 doors.
I heard it.
You can go through one or the other.
Yep. 49ers.
49ers alumni, Chiefs alumni. Now listen, I
love Will Shields and I love Neil Smith and
Warfield.
I love those guys.
Like there's a whole list
of great guys,
right? Dude,
you can even know. So what room is Montana in?
He's in the Niners room. He told you. He told you where he belonged. He going to the Hall of Fame as no Chief.
You're right.
Look, man, all them rings got 49ers on it.
Yeah.
Right? So Charles Haley will be there. Ronnie Lott's going to be there. It's a full-on, and we'll get a ton of 49ers and Chiefs to stop by through this thing. So it's going to be an incredible week of that. We're going to give away some tickets so you can see Roger Craig. Well, I don't know if Craig will come to the Super Bowl. Oh, no. That's not really his vibe, I would love
High stepping Roger. I used to try to emulate.
Well, you'd love for him and Rathman to show up. But again, for whoever's in the room, the beauty of us being there is that literally we can just wave them on and do that. So, and then Wednesday night at CHI Health Center, the Omaha Supernovas, again, they drew 11,400 for game 2.
And they're on the board.
11. Yeah, got the win. Got to win. Vegas comes to town Wednesday night. We'll give away tickets all week.
Might have to go to that
game. You really should. The fans who said this, and folks who get mad, feel how you feel. But the fans who were there are volleyball fans. A lot of them are either, right? They're either. But they all said that the game presentation, it was much more of a party at the Supernovas. It's much more of a party. And then
what you can do at the Supernovas game that you can't do at most?
I don't know. Tell me.
Sip on some Bruce.
Hey, man.
They let you up there, man.
Right?
They let you have a cool one.
Right? And our seats are in the Lexus. So, yeah. Plus, you guys are both me. You have your own credentials. You can come and go and walk around and do what you need to do. And they're really good about post-match autograph sessions, meet and greets, that sort of stuff. So the players usually hang out another 90 minutes after games. So if you're going to go to the games and you want your kids to meet the players, just plan to stay. They have a 15-minute grace period after the game is to calm down and cool off, and then they go upstairs and they sign on the concourse. And they have the tables all set up, and you can come get pictures and autographs and do that whole thing. So it's pretty exceptional. And of course, Rico and myself, Coach Renee Saunders, we get the call and get the broadcast to you. But it's going to be pretty cool. And then, so here's the schedule now. Wednesday night, Omaha. Fly to Vegas Thursday morning. All of that. Go from Vegas to Grand Rapids for the Supernovas on Monday night. Then we will go back. Literally,
and while in Vegas, you got WWE face-off. So just note that.
Got all of that.
Or
right?
WWE.
Right. I'll be acting a fool, right? Then to back to Vegas to play Vegas again. So they'll play Vegas twice in 8 days. We'll go out and I'm going to talk to the UNLV women's running Red Bulls basketball team, watch them play. And then finally back here next Friday. So it'll be, for Supernovas home game Saturday night. So, and then the bowl-a-thon is Friday afternoon. So you guys are going to have to carry the torch for me.
See what we can do. What we got on Old School.
There are a couple of things that fell into my lap. And Austin, this is where I want your head to go. And Strick, if you have an answer, you can hang around and give it. But if you ranked all of the Super Bowl champions, who's your top 5? And most importantly, who's number 1? There's some folks who tried to get that answer and it went terribly, terribly left. So we'll talk about that. And then I found a tape of the old college All-Stars versus the NFL Super Bowl champions. And they had these games every year until one year. I want to talk about that because to me, if the Super Bowl champions ain't afraid to play, Pro Bowlers need to grow up.
Amen. That's Old School DP. Jay Foreman on his way to Vegas. For Strick, I'm Austin. It's been fun. We'll talk some Husker hoops. We'll talk some NFL, some NBA tomorrow. Don't go anywhere. Old School DP on your way here in just a sec.
Fairway Meat Market has everything you need for meat and cold drinks for the big game this Sunday. Now through February 11th, enjoy fresh chicken wings for $2.99 per pound, USDA choice brisket for $4.99 per pound, all natural St. Louis pork ribs for $1.99 per pound, USDA whole prime beef tenderloin for $19.99 per pound, 10-pound tubes of 80% lean ground beef for $2.99 per pound, and 30 packs of Busch Light for just $17.99. Fairway Meat Market, just south of 84th and Van Dorn. Why are New Year's resolutions always about getting to the gym more or dieting? We fail ourselves before the first month of the year is already over. Why not resolve to eat better, tastier foods in 2024? Look no further than Fuhrer's cheese spread. Stop eating your apples, vegetables, crackers, and chips plain. Give them some flavor. Fuhrer's cheese spread awakens your taste buds. Now that's how you start a new year. Find your container of Fuhrer's cheese spread today at your local grocery store.
Sandhills Global is hiring. With their fast-paced, growing culture, they have hundreds of new openings in sales, marketing, traveling support, software development, web design, and more. Full-time roles offer a 4.5-day work week, along with flexible internships in most areas. Career and internship opportunities are available at our global headquarters in Lincoln, Nebraska. Find your fit today at www.sandhills.jobs.
Ever feel judged at the gym?
You don't know how to use the leg curl machine? Are you serious? Is this your first day alive? No, it's okay. I love helping people during their first day on Earth.
At Planet Fitness, get energy without the judgment and join the judgment-free zone. Never intimidating, always free fitness training and equipment for every workout. Get energized today during the Big Fitness Energy Sale for $1 down, $10 a month. Cancel anytime. Deal ends Friday, February 16th. See Home Club for details.
Get rid of pesky critters once and for all with Bats to Rats. Their expert team is here to help you reclaim your home. No more sleepless nights caused by crawling